All right, warriors, welcome back. Before we get started, let's do a breathing exercise. It's going to take 5 seconds. We're going to breathe in deep, hold it, and then release together. And what we're doing is providing ourselves a loop interrupter for this moment. But what I want you to do is remember this loop interrupter, because at the moment you're being provoked, you feel you're being bombarded, or even the butterfly feelings of feel good. What you need to look at is, why am I being made to feel this way? What's the motive? And let me tell you something. We're going to talk about the word no and how powerful that is. 5 seconds, and then let's shake it off. Let's do this. Let's take a badass walk on the beach. 5 seconds. Come on. Release slowly. All right. Damn, that felt good. Warriors, what I want to warn you about, first and foremost, is background checks. It's so important, and there's so many available to you. Right there at your fingertips, at your disposal. But more importantly is, as a matter of routine, if you haven't heard from someone in over a year, I want you to understand it's important that you do a background check. You know what a difference a day can make. Can you imagine 365 days? A full year? A person could have gone into jail and out, could have accumulated some DV, an STD, and a record. Much can change. And that's the reason why maybe they're hoovering you. And keep in mind, many of you think that a hoover comes from those that were just in romantic relationships, marriages, things like that. No. Understand, this can come from friends. You can be hoovered by toxic asses you've left behind back in the hood, the ghetto, and it's why you need to release them. They're coming back. It's entitlement. Especially if you haven't heard from them in a very long time. Do your background checks. Warriors, narcissists rage when they start to run out of options. But man, will they rage even more when you reject them after not seeing them for so long. See, you're supposed to get over the butt hurt. You're supposed to forgive and forget. You see, you forgave, but you don't forget. You forgive and don't associate. Once bit, twice shy. Warriors, when the mask is doomed and discarded by the narcissist, what I want you to understand is clearly now everyone can see behind the curtain. They can no longer sport the mask. Some would think that the narcissist would mature at this point. Oh, nay. They become even more bitter and very dangerous. Warriors, I've spoken to hospice nurses and caretakers. And let me tell you the stories. I'll tell you, it's a common thread that those who lived with a clear conscience, I'm not saying perfect, but lived with a clear conscience, they leave us in peace. As a matter of fact, the hospice nurse told me, many of them have, in so many ways, that those who were at peace spent their last days consoling the living, still pouring out compassion to those who are leaving behind. The narcissist is so enraged at the end of days that they, even their own families, won't come visit. They won't see them off. And it's why they contract a hospice caretaker, because they're intolerable to their last fucking breath. So knowing this is why it's so important for you to leave the narcissists that crossed you and any that have disrespected you in any kind of way or tried to poison you, drug you, take your life for insurance money, or try to set you up in any kind of way. And when I'm talking setups, let me tell you something. They're sneaky. Look, many of you don't know this word. Chomo? Pedos? Oh, now you know. Okay, you with me? Narcissists know this because they pillow talk with felons. Or they've been there themselves. They know the criminal code of conduct in prison. And this is why it's important you listen to me now. Listen carefully. Narcissists will try and set you up, as I was, by having children have night-overs. Spend the night, have a little slumber party. You better make your ass gone. It's a setup. You should have seen the look in her eyes when I told her what her plan was to try and set me up for charges against a minor. And when I explained it to her in detail, you should have seen the look on that face. Warriors, you need to pay attention. Because let me tell you something, they want to ruin your lives. And they understand the rules of the code of conduct in prison is pedophiles are a punching bag for everybody. And so they couldn't kill you, they couldn't poison you. Well, the last ditch effort is pillow talk with a felon and set you up to be incarcerated and let other narcissists use you as a punching bag until they can cash out your insurance. Look, by leaving narcissists alone, and I'm saying denying them your attention and your time, you know, your meat, your money, energy, attention, time, and exercise a choice, a decision, one that they thought you would never exercise. And that is to grace them with your silence and your absence. Now, by doing this, you're going to learn the power of the word no. No and whatever. And this one's another one that's very, very, very important. I hate you feel that way, but you're entitled to your opinion. You see, because in my eyes, I fought for everyone in this country, even the dumbasses with crowns, so they would have the free will and right to choose to end themselves, destroy themselves. But where I draw the line is when it comes to harming the children of God. You see, the unspoken voices, the ones that were taken advantage of and unalived, we're here to represent them and to expose the narcissist. I dare say, many of you, if you do a background check on people right now, right the hell now, make a list of everyone you know, pay for 1 month's subscription to a background check company like truthfinders.com, and understand, they're not paying me for this. This is not a paid advertisement. This is for your own well-being. Do those background checks yearly, and I promise you, your circles will become thinner and richer for it. Now, this is what I find interesting, and I want to share this with you, because some of you are in the mid-struggle, mid-stride, okay? Don't you find it very interesting for those of you who have already gotten out, and I want you to share in those remarks if this has been your experience. I find it so interesting that the divine creator's hands are so on top of you, protecting you, that the minute you leave toxicity, narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, and anyone who is trying to cause you harm. The minute you leave those circles that you once fought for and defended, the minute you leave that is exactly when the divine Lord, God, Abba Father, gives you exactly what you need. The minute you let go of what you thought you needed, the divine gives you everything you needed. And all you had to do is release 50 Shades of Fucked Up. Fantasyland. The delusion of another. See, Narcissist wants you to follow their lead and not have a life of your own, not have a choice, but to follow their lead. And they'll even check to see if you're still following. And if not, Hoover time. Love bomb, and discard again. Warriors, narcissists are going to be at a point where selective amnesia is going to become instinctive. What are you talking about? That never happened. That wasn't me. And you know good and well what you saw, witnessed, and others even validated after the fact. What they're hoping is time goes by and you'll play along. And if you play along, even the better. Because that's who they do that with in their circles. Narcissists, when they're together, understand, there is no trust. Zero trust among thieves. There's no loyalty. Everything they were doing to you, they do to each other. But they do it more better, bestest, and more viciously if you get the hell out the way. See, you're base. For many of you, you were the only thing that kept them in a position where in society they looked like they had a life of normalcy. And on the down low, they were spreading it wide and playing pretend. They had a whole nother life. And all you did was provide a cover. And when that cover is gone, when you decide, finally, I've had enough, now you get to become a spectator. Front row seats to a karmic cycle and an ego death unlike no other. Now, preferably, I'd rather you not witness it at all. Preferably, when you blow that bridge up, obliterate it, you can't be found. You can't be reached, and no one can sabotage you, your job, or any future relationships. See, what narcissists hate the most is they know you learn from this. And the day comes that you decide you want a relationship. If you could make it with their ratchet asses, you can make it with someone of your own kind as a do or die. And they know this. You were the only reason that made it as far as it did. But you did it so convincingly well that the narcissists believe deep down inside it was because of them. You see, many of us run around acting like narcissists have these big egos. Big egos, and they're shallow, this, that, the other. What I need you to understand is, in the narcissist's mind and their world, they're normal. Their ego isn't eccentric. Their ego isn't inflated. This is who they are. Because they've been that way their whole fucking life. Just like you have been who you are your whole life. It's why they have this air of arrogance. Because they can't understand how you don't see the greatness in them. Warriors, once you've seen and witnessed what you have, you can never unsee it. You can fight it. In fact, many of you spend 2 months or so doing that. It's a battle, unlike no other. But it's because this is your ego death. It's time to reinvent. It's time for you to be born again. Don't fear this awareness, embrace it. And in baby steps, I promise you, you are the one to be feared. You're not the one to live in fear. You have legions protecting you. Angels of light. Powerful. Call on them. Call on Yahweh, Yehovah, Abba. Warriors, what's important is this key piece. In the divine words, the gospel, it states clearly to pray for your enemies. And many are perplexed by this statement. Some say it's because of humility. Even Jesus prayed against those that unalived him. But you know what was magical about this that I found? To pray for your enemies means you are sending the message clearly for the Father to reveal himself to your enemies. And because your enemies fear the light, they're haunted by this appearance. When I tell you narcissists have been warned way before they started fucking with you and didn't heed the warnings, you want to know how I know? I've been surrounded by a family of narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths. And as I was growing up, I got to witness them actually fight the air in rage, screaming at the top of their fucking lungs. I knew I should have left them alone. Dang it! So even the narcissist knows when they've been outgunned. Hold the line, warriors. You're doing a badass job. The world now is starting to see what we see. And there's pushback. No one feels it more than the narcissist. They've been feeling this pinch since 2019. They thought the grass was greener on the other side, found out it was fake. Now they want a do-over. After all they tried to do to you, they now want to rub your faith in your face and talk about forgiveness. You forgave, but you learned from it, which means you didn't forget. It's just categorized differently, and it doesn't mean you're welcome back. Warriors, thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. It's never goodbye. It's always until next time. Namaste.
And I've been counting down